Part two, my fellow YouTubers. So with the frequency change, and no, the frequency stays the same, but there's a. I'll just gonna fire it up. There's a thing here going on that I like. So the light just came on, right? Why I don't know. It's not near anything. Um, hmm. All of a sudden, I'm going to bring it near the magnet, and you're going to hear it make a sound. Ready? You hear it? And it's in my hand. I don't feel a magnetic pull or force because there's nothing to bring it to, and the light's on. But when I bring it towards the magnet, a magnetic field appears. Now let's go ahead. We'll move it to the side. Light's still on. Let's go ahead and turn that. Let's see if we can keep it turning. Listen to it. You can hear the ob shape of the magnets. Sounds like a bird. Not enough to keep it going, but you can hear it humming. Light stays on. But did you notice? Let me go ahead and turn the resistor. So the resistor now we're going to turn all the way up. The resistor was all the way to the left. Now we should have more magnetic strength. You can hear it in sound. Listen. Oh hell, did I just burn out the system? That's another thing. No, transistor. Let's do this. Transistor's cold still. There we go. So all of a sudden now, the light's on, it's in my hand. I bring it up. You see the light flashing? So there's more magnetic strength in the coil right now. There's no core. And it's turning the wheel. Let me put the tack on. I forgot to do the tack. Where is that wire? Let's put the tachometer on. Tack's on. All right, let's bring the coil up. And Bill, I give you credit. No, I don't ever see anybody running it without a core. And it just raises question on different attributes about it. Leave your comments, guys. Where do you go from here? So the wheel turns without it. And that's a lot bigger wheel than Bill has and a lot heavier. And I'm missing a magnet. And why the magnet's off is because, oh my Lord, I took this piece of metal and I held it up about here. It sucked it out of my hand. And when it sucked it up, it took it, it flew over, came across here and hit, and took the magnet off. It blew the magnet off and blew it over to the next one. And this flew down the road over there. All I'm going to say is it's good to be alive. Yeah. Woo! So back to this. So what do? So you have a coil. you have right now the lights on. You 12 volts. Why did that just turn off? Damn, what did I do? Let's see why it's off. Oh, it just flashed. So it got stuck on, maybe? So the transistor is kind of weird, because obviously that would be that it was stuck on. So let's turn the power off. That's the power. There you go. So if you take the power and just connect it, the light goes on. So let's see if we can get the light off. So here we go. So I waved it by the magnet, the light went off. So it means the transistor literally went off. Let's bring it close now. And let's see what's going on. All right, so nothing with the light. Let's see if we turn the wheel. Do we lose the power? I guess we did, because now the light goes on. The wheel's starting to take off without a core. I like this without a core. Bill, I give you credit. This is, you know, I mean, I'm not looking to charge a battery right now. I'm sending that energy, the back EMF, Bedini called it, to the light bulb. So there's nothing free here, but there's something else here that I'm picking up, some feng shui stuff that needs to be on the outskirts. There goes that. I just touched the resistance wire and it grounded out two of the connections. So anyway, so there's something else going on here that I'm picking up. So we're getting a frequency. We're being able to take the transistor. If you put a core in here, the frequency is so much lower. The transistor's running at a low frequency. The wheel turning and all that. And then you take the core out and then you run the transistor through it. Obviously, I just showed you don't even need the magnet to have it turn on. So basically the Bedini setup is biased enough to allow it to just be self-exciting, I would say. And the fact that I brought it near the magnet and de-self-excited it was pretty interesting. So there's another good question on top of other questions. And then the other part to that is the fact that when I turned, it wouldn't go on, right? It wasn't activated. So I de-excited it. Then I turned the wheel and then it started. So to me, there's three majors there that, Bill, you need to jump into if you're not already doing it, and me to jump into beside having a core. You know, I don't know if there's magic, but to me, it's enticing because maybe if you look at it in a different way, you could find a frequency within the coil, which to me maybe is the frequency of the Schumann that you could line up, because you could wrap the coil to be in frequency to the Schumann. So the transistor could participate in that event, we'll call it, to where you're creating a sine wave through the figurella, which I think the wave is the profile, and the frequency is the part of the circuitry that comes from the Bedini, but not through a core, because that right there, I mean, I'm going to go here and go here once. The reason you would put a core is to slow down, well, it would be to slow down the frequency. But if you made the frequency high enough and put a core equal to the saturation that you were looking for induction, that inductive force would be driven by what I just said. And that inductive force would be equal to what you need in your workload or in some other fashion. I'm not saying what you would use it for. But what I'm getting at is that you would balance out those, you would have a frequency higher say if I wanted to be at a 7.8 Schumann low, not Schumann high, but Schumann low, 7.8 hertz. I could bring the frequency up, I believe in kilohertz or megahertz, and put a certain core inside, not a certain core, certain size core inside that coil to bring the frequency down to 7.8. But what happens when you do that? The hysteresis in that iron now becomes that it becomes saturable, not only saturable, but it becomes an event, part of the events, we'll just call it. You guys leave your comments. It being part of the event gives you more kinetic, more current, more amperage, we'll just say, because current comes from amperage. So more amperage is by introducing that. But that's not to turn the wheel. You don't even need the wheel we just showed. You get the transistor going. You just have to get it going. Forget about the magnet. We just showed that. So now there's your one spark. You get it going, it's going. Now what do you do with it? You can kill it. You bring a magnet up to it. We killed it, right? Took it out. What if you didn't bring the magnet up? It's still going. What if you fed off of that? It's still going, is what I'm getting at. Leave your comments. Have a great night.